Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering at Home 2021, and that's a mouthful. We are ready here to play some Disney's Tarzan Untamed. But before we get into that, we do have a donation coming here. We have a donation from Joseph Black that is €13.38. And it says, nice 1 hour, 33 minutes and 8 seconds. Entertaining race, GG's box and crew. And yep, it was GG's good there. And, but yes, thank you very much for the donation. Getting rid of those round numbers. Do you want to let Joseph have all the fun without round numbers there? If you donate, you can donate to make those numbers nice and round again. Maybe even get up to that 4,420, you know? But again, all donations are going to Mind, so do please keep giving if you can. All your donations are appreciated. But without further ado, I've spoken enough. It is time to hand it over to DoubleDubbel. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Argik. I tried to make Tarzan yell to drown you out. It did not go very well.
Ooh, Ark v Tarzan, right? I mean, Tarzan can do it. All I can just do is like.
That's exactly the kind of start I need. That puts me in the right mindset. Alright, hello everybody, welcome to Disney Tarzan Untamed, an obscure launch title for the GameCube. Layout says we because that's what I'm playing on, because, you know, we usually makes loads GameCube games faster, yada yada yada. Alright, so there's a speedrun strat for this game before the run even starts. Because I get to select my memory card slot here, and I'm going to pick continue without saving. But all that does is disable auto-saving. If you have a memory card plugged in and you select continue without saving, all it does is at every save point, at every point the game would save, auto-save if you selected a memory card slot, it just gives you a prompt asking you if you want to save. So speedrun tip number 1 for this game, play without a memory card inserted. We're going to give the file a nice and appropriate name, and we're going to head into story mode. That's the main mode here, because we're doing any %, which is the run I always do for this game. And time is going to start nice and easy when I press the A button here. So we'll get this underway in 3, 2, 1, go! So first thing, mash A to skip a cutscene. It's not everywhere, but almost every stage beginning and end has a cutscene that you can skip on the first frame possible with the A button, so we do that. And there's also voice cutscenes in mid-level that you can't skip, such as this one. Alright, so that's the first one. There's another one later on. There's actually 2 more, but they're only in this stage, so there's no like unskippable cutscenes later on. Now the first trick here is rail jumping, but we're not doing it on a rail, but that's what it's called. Because you mostly do it on rails. Whenever you're sliding downwards on any kind of railing like that, where you like grind and do stuff, you
What do you have?
the physics of the game just push you forward. So
So
that's our first real speed strat. The other speed strat is, whenever I'm standing still and have to get going, I jump. There's a little build up to running speed that happens. And I'll explain more about it because one of the hardest tricks of the game coming up right here. And I failed it. I didn't land far enough to the left to avoid that cutscene. Where, yeah, Tarzan walks to the gorilla and gets stuff yelled at him by text boxes. Oh, I'm on top of the cage. That's not where I want to be. So I tried to spear the cage, but it missed. Because it just does that sometimes. But yeah, the build up to running speed is, as you can imagine, slower than actual running speed. But if you jump, jumping and moving forward lets you move at the same speed as running speed while that build up happens. So I'm just going to be doing that at pretty much every point where the game puts me to a complete stop. Such as here. So here, throw the spear to split this vine open. I did it earlier during the tutorial for it. More rail jumping here. And the Turk cutscene that you saw earlier with the film reel, that's very important. It's the main collectible in the game. And if I jump early here, I will land underneath the mushrooms and can pick this up more efficiently. That is shroom skip. Also, these hunters with the shotgun and a couple other enemies, they give you like a struggle minigame where you have to match beat to fill a bar faster than the enemy bar fills, and then you defeat him. If you throw a spear, it just knocks them out in one hit. Also here, I will wait with throwing the spear, otherwise you throw it at that guy at the left that was yelling at us. Only running attack in the entire game, or the entire run. Break that log open. Because I would normally break it with a spear, but we have a baby on board. So I can't. You can't throw spears when you have a baby on board. But yeah, this is also part of the routing, is saving these baby monkeys. I'll go into further detail what that does later on. But yeah, this game is extremely formulaic. It's made up of 3 stages per world, then a boss fight at the end, and each of the main stages has 8 collectibles, and then there's a special stage we'll be getting into. I'm sure Argic is more than familiar with special stages.
Yes, yep.
And that's where the last one is, and that totals 25 for each world. That means the first 2 worlds will have 50 film reels. We're gonna need 45 of them to reach world 3 and get to the end. So that means we can skip 5 of them. The route we take is gonna give us access to 46 out of the 50, so we can do this route and still skip 1. Alright, so start running a little bit and then jump over. Okay, I jumped over, but I got hit still. There's 2 types of damage you can take in this game. It's either 3 or 5. It's very arbitrary and specific what does 5 damage and what does 3 damage. Such as the rhinos, they deal 3 damage to me, but jumping and damage boosting through them is the fastest way to get through them. It's not a damage boost because you don't get extra speed, but it's just faster than waiting. It's that type of damage boost. Alright, so we unlock an extra stage, but we're going to do the bonus stage first. If you save all the baby monkeys in the world, you get this bungee challenge. That's the special stage I was referring to earlier. It's called the bungee challenge. This first one is very simple. Just dodge every objective. It sounds difficult that you have to dodge everything and can't get hit a single time, but the first one, as you can see right there, nice and simple, easy, and we get this. The trademark Tarzan yell, there it is. So now that we've impressed the gorillas by jumping off a cliff, we can now get their help. When I mentioned the skip that I failed, it made me walk to the gorilla, and then it gave me a text box. That text box told me that complete the bungee challenge and then the gorillas will help you. So that's what we're gonna do now. So yeah, to explain why I'm going back into the first stage is, because of the routing, we have to backtrack to this stage to get a couple extra film reels, because they're hidden behind the special paths that the gorillas will now give us access to. So while I make my way back to the stage, I'll hand it over to Argic to read and say stuff.
Oh, thank you. I do see some people here getting some stuff in. Let me just grab my little refresh button and press it on the side here. We have a €5 donation from Tiny Tim, who says, "Hail, donating to hear Arg's best Tarzan noises. This should be something. Lol, cheers." And we also have a €10 donation from Leo Cadran, who says, "Shoutouts to Double. What a legend. I got my eyes on that Majora's Mask display." Indeed. And since Tiny Tim wanted a $5 donation there, and I said I'd do noises. We got Tarzan doing monkey. Got to go down jungle. I know what much more Tarzan does other than monkey noises, like Tarzan goes through jungle now. Got to go save monkeys.
So yeah, you just saw me bounce on the shrooms there, so bouncing on the shrooms always lands you on that branch. So if I didn't get that like skip of landing underneath the mushrooms on the first visit here, I would have to like jump off, go back for the reel, and then pick it up and go back up again. So yeah, that's where you get to see like the time save that you get. Now I can actually use the spear here. Now I don't have this everywhere, but for this one I have a nice little visual cue with these light green colored spots on the ground at Tarzan's feet right now. That's a good visual cue with this particular gorilla to know where to stand. Right, so break this. And now here we pause as soon as we get the film reel and we quit out. The game stores This is one of those games that stores progress as soon as you get it. So we have 7 out of 8 film reels in that stage now. Now we get into the first reset point of the game. Surf for resets. This is a surfing stage with physics that can get out of control very quickly, and we have to grab film reels. And the route for this game makes you get all 8 of them in a single attempt. If I miss one, I'm gonna have to redo the entire stage up to the point of the film reel that I missed. So I grind here, which is slow, but it helps me line up for this section right here. Jump over the island, because surfing on anything that isn't water slows you down. I'm also holding up to go faster. That's what the prompt at the beginning tells you that I clicked away, is up makes you go faster, down on the control stick makes you go slower, it makes you brake. And now we're going to be introduced to a little physics exploit, back bonking. The back half of Tarzan's board, for some reason, doesn't have damage detection. I guess you would call it a hurt box, but I prefer the term damage detection. So I'm just going to use that to A, avoid getting damaged by crashing into a wall, and B, take turns more efficiently. As you can see here, because not only does it avoid damage, it also redirects Tarzan's momentum. In the direction that you bonk off the wall. We appropriately call it back bonking. Also, you saw me clearly jump over the film reel, but I still got it. Fortunately, the developers of the game, which by the way are Ubisoft, none other than Ubisoft made this game. Luckily they were smart enough to make the hitboxes for the film reels absolutely gigantic in these stages, which is an absolute blessing. And the stage would be much more of a pain if that wasn't the case. Right? That film reel is very easily missable. It's pretty much the easiest to miss in the entire stage. And the second easiest to miss is right here. So I'm just gonna be careful. I jumped over it. Great. Okay, well that's a big old time loss. Alright, so get film reel number 7. So I'm gonna finish the stage first. Here. And then I'm gonna jump back in. Alright, skip the cutscene. So this is gonna unlock the next stage. I'm gonna dive straight back in. And yeah, I'm gonna unfortunately have to traverse through almost the entire stage just to get that one film reel I missed. So while I do stuff you've already seen before, I'm first going to show you off this, since I now have the time for it, this is Tony Hawk as well. You can do shove it, I'm trying to do things here. I can do kickflips, and I can do 360 spins. Right, with that out of the way, I'm going to hand it over to Argic again, to keep you entertained.
Oh yes, we got €5 donation from Joseph Black, who says jungle nurses. If we keep on the €5 trade, we get more donations. Yes.
There we go, cheeky back bump right there. Oh, it's just a thing that this is just one of those things that can happen in a marathon, and it's just something we gotta deal with. No, that's marathon world. There's the marathon world record out the window. Because the best marathon time that I've ever gotten here is actually pretty good. I got it in my previous showcase for this of this game was a 39 minutes and 6 seconds, and the world record for this game, also held by me, is 38:46. So that run was only 20 seconds slower than the world record. So that was a very good showcase I'm very happy with, and where basically nothing went wrong. And you know, here things have gone wrong. But hey, we're not here to set world records in marathon. We're here to show off games and have fun playing them. And you know, I still have fun. Especially in these marathon settings where things are just a lot more chill. It's all about showing off the game and, you know, getting things. Yeah. Yeah, that's what makes marathon runs a lot more fun than just the reset heavy PB grinds.
Oh, I know that feeling. I agree with you on
Yeah.
that one. There's nothing better than being able to
Also-
go, I can just finish this run.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a reset run, but better. Also, I'm gonna make things unnecessarily difficult by myself by reversing my left and right controls with this reverse skiing. I'm holding right now, but you can see me on the left side of the screen. So yeah, water ski. So all the stages have tricks like that. For example, if I rotate the stick, I do a tumble turn. I can do front flips. And I can also, grinding automatically gives you points, but if you press the trick button, which is right bumper, the R button, and press down, Tarzan does a slightly different animation, and it counts as a reverse grind that gives you more points. Alright, film reels, that is number 3. So this is the water skiing. The first world shows off all the 3 stage types that there are. We first had jungle exploration, which is proper action adventure platforming, sort of. I'm also gonna damage boost through here, because if I just hold left, I will miss the rail, and therefore can grab the reel. Don't get your terms mixed up. But yeah, the second type you saw me go through and miss the film reel, so you saw me go through it twice. It was the surfing stage, river surf, and then there's this water ski. Also, if you hold left here, you automatically get on the rail. So that's another hold left and you'll do the thing strat. Also, why go around things when you can jump over them with style? Just forward flip over everything. Is the term front flip copyrighted? I don't know. Like, I don't know why they feel the need to call this forward flip when they can just call it front flip. Yeah, that's all they film reels. All that's really to do here is just grab the film reels as you go along. It's an auto-scroller. And the second world is going to have 2 And I mentioned this game being formulaic. So worlds 2 and 3 are going to have jungle explorations for the first and third stage. And then the second stage in the middle is going to be a different stage. Also, here we got a boss fight, though I use that term very loosely because I just want you to pay attention. Don't blink. Boss fight over. So, this is a struggle. I mentioned it before with these enemies, that if you get into a struggle with them, you have to mash B to fill a bar. So this is a similar concept, where you need to mash B at a certain threshold to overpower the enemy. As long as you're mashing above the threshold, the bar drains at the same speed, so nothing you can do to speed that up. And yeah, there's a button combo that shows up. It's 1 hit for the first boss and 3 buttons. The rest of the bosses are the second boss is gonna have 2 hits with 4 button combos, and then the third and final boss is gonna have 3 hits with 5 button combos. Have I mentioned yet that this game is formulaic? So yeah, so in World 2, the middle stage, World 2 where we are right now, the middle stage is gonna be a water ski, so an auto-scroller, and then in World 3, the middle stage is gonna be a surfing stage. Additionally, we get to meet the young apes, the bungee challenge monkeys of World 2. So to get access to that, we need to save the baby monkeys and then complete the challenge of World 2. But you may have noticed that I just completely skipped over that monkey. Yeah, we don't save the animals in World 2. So this game has a bit of everything. Save the animals, kill the animals. This game pleases all parties. Or pleases none, depending on how you look at it. Because it doesn't do either the entire way. It does a bit of both. And bringing back the whole formulaic thing is there's 3 of those secret paths where you need the help of a monkey friend. And each of them has a film reel in it. And that's going to come into play here. As I get the film reel and jump off to my death. There's death abuses in this game, because we go the alternate path first, because the alternate path doesn't have checkpoints before the 2 paths come back, and the main path does before they come back together again. So when I die on the alternate path, I get sent back to the I can send back to the checkpoint right before the pass splits, so I can go the other way. Because as I mentioned before, game stores progress as soon as you get it. So we have that film rule from the alternate path now. And also, this game is absolutely blessed that there's those gorillas from the first bungee challenge in this area. Because that's what makes the route work. There's 3 across the 2 jungle exploration levels in this world. There's 3 of the young apes. So that's 3 film reels you can access, and then the 4th is the bungee challenge we don't do. So that's the 4 missing film reels, and then there's the 46 we can get. The 46th one that we skip because we only need 45 is the final film reel in Free the Young in the first stage. So I got 2 of the 3 extra film reels in Free the Young, and then I left the stage. Also, because we die, we don't have spears, so we have to take this. So this is that struggle beat to fill a bar, match beat to fill a bar encounter. That's also the worst jump in the game. It's so easy to just not redirect yourself correctly and fall to your death in between. Also here, a little exploit, or like a little speed thing, is jump at the end to jump up nice and high up this climb and like get a head start on it. Alright, jump down here on this overhead vine. I jumped off on the ones earlier to just get off as soon as possible, because it's kind of slow. Also, next up, that right there, that film reel is impossible to miss. No matter at what position you are in this trunk when you slide by. Also, you can do handstands, you can do reverse slides. Those are the tricks you can do in jungle exploration stages. No matter where you are in the trunk, you always get it. So there is no 0 film reels category that we can do.
Have you seen the children?
Also, stick to the side here, because the end of the stage, you can trigger the end of the stage earlier on that side. Alright, auto-scroller time. So I'm gonna need some focus time for the first 2 film reels here, because they're very tricky. There's gonna be a rail, but the game's not really that great at magnetizing you to rails when you jump on them. So I need to get on this. There we go, got it. Good. Otherwise I would have had to reset the stage and retry. And because it's so finicky, I'm not going to do it for the second film reel. What I'm going to do is land next to it and then jump near it. And abusing the large hitboxes that the film reels have in these stages, like so. Alright, so that's the scary bits out of the way, so now I can just chill and grab the things along the way, and it's a good opportunity for Argig to do more talking and reading.
Yes, and that is exactly what we're going to do. Just want to let you all know, folks, that we are raising money for Mind. They are a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental health issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations will go to Mind, so please do keep them coming in. And while you do, make sure you take a look at our current incentives that we have available. Coming up fairly soon, we have the Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited Amy race coming up. And they have a current incentive for the Metal and Funk Music mod pack. That is currently sitting at €91.38 out of 150 euros total. Can we hit that before the run begins?
Oh, gotta get exactly 5,000, because a thing happens when you hit 5,000 points. No, well, not exactly 5,000, I exceeded it. But yeah, in the stages, if you score 5,000 points, for every 5,000 points you get an extra life. It's not something we have to do in the speedrun or anything, because this game gives you plenty of lives. So there's very little risk of, actually no risk at all of game overing in this game, even when you play it casually, because you're taking your time. Like, a lot of the deaths in this game come from, like, rushing and not taking your time to do things properly. And, you know, in casual play, you generally take your time to do things properly. And in the speedrun, you just practice. That's what most of this game comes down to anyway. There's no like big glitches to do. There's the small skips that I've shown and mentioned. I'm gonna jump off this early because I don't want this guy to block me as I jump over to the film reel and jump off to die. Because yeah, that's another one of those. Go the alternate path first, respawn to before the split, and then go the main way. That's the final death abuse like that. We're gonna be getting the 5 film reels. Like I said, there's 3 alternate paths in every stage. Each of them has 1 film reel before they come back together again. Oh, that was the wrong timing. Whoops. Alright, back here again. But yeah, there's 3 alternate paths. Each have 1 film reel before they come back to the main path. So, on the main path, there's 5. That's where the other 5 are. Right, let me jump off later so I can do lily pad skip. Does it save time? I have no idea. Do we care? No, because it looks cool. I'm gonna have to wait to rail jump here, because if I rail jump immediately, I jump over the film reel and miss it. No birds were harmed in the making of the speedrun, don't worry about it. It's not a punch, it's a love tap.
Have you seen the children?
Whoop. Now this is another one of those mash B to fill a bar encounters, and I have no spears, but the trigger zone is small, and you can just walk around that one. Also, taunt the animals. I'll free him out of this cage and then leave him sitting there. There we go. We've had saving the animals. We have killing in the animals. Now there you go. There's taunting the animals. Right, jump here because that's where the rail goes downwards. It's very particular how rail jumping works, and it generally only works when you. It generally only works when you're grinding downward. At least that's like the consistency we found with it. Yep. Don't jump here because if you land on the edge of that trunk by jumping off early, you have a chance of soft locking by getting a weird like teleport. Also, what I've been doing with grabbing spears is I've been jumping near the bush and then pressing the attack button in midair and also throwing and like punching and throwing spears in midair like I'm about to do right here. Because basically you don't want to get stuck in animations on the ground. Because they're also fairly lengthy. The animations in the midair are out like that. They're more they're quicker and they don't like slow you down. Okay, I tried to do what we call lasso skip. I'll explain. So normally what happens is this. You land here and you get bound by him immediately. But if you land on the very edge of that platform, you can throw a spear and kill him. Now there's a particular reason why I can't just land, throw a spear and land normally. Because if that happens, him attacking you takes priority and he just ignores the spear being thrown at him. And he will like bind you in your lasso. So because that's such a common place to get bounded, you have to go out of your way to avoid it. You know, that's the lengths we have to go through to call something a skip in this game. Because, you know, this is one of those games that doesn't really have anything big. And it's just, the speedrun is just playing the game optimal. If I still had spears, this sequencing would be a little bit easier on my inputs. Now I have to do, like, attack him. If I had spears, I could throw a spear as I jump up to it. And that makes the... it makes the inputs a little bit more spread out and easier to execute. Alright, so like I said, second boss here. Yeah, 2 hits. You can see it on the top. On the top left is my hit points, and on the top left is the boss. And one thing I don't think I mentioned yet when I talked about this the first time is that the button combos are also always the same. There's no RNG with them. Thing is, even if it was random, you can see how slowly the bar drains and how much time you have to read the combo that comes on screen. Like, this is always going to be ABXY. Like, I can already tell you this. However, if you go back into these stages later on and replay them, it will be a different combo. Alright, that's the boss done. So now we're on to World 3, or at least we should be. As far as I know... we didn't miss any. Yeah.
Good show, my boy. These may just have the answers we need. Let's take a look.
Alright, so let me prepare you for the intricate story that this game has. So this is an original story that takes place after the events of the original movie. And the story is there's a bunch of poachers back in the jungle. And we go to investigate in like World 1. And we find out it's a man named Oswald Gardner. Who is an acquaintance. A rather unfriendly acquaintance of Professor Porter back in England. Right. Yeah, bear traps, you can spear them and then pick up the spear again. So this enemy, you throw a spear and he dives in because he sees it coming. But during the time he's dived in, yeah, you can just run past him. So yeah, the story. So yeah, we find out. Also, we're back to saving the monkeys again. So the story in the first boss, you fight this big dude who was trying to capture Tantor, the elephant. And dramatic as Tantor is, at the end of the fight, he writes himself off as "my time has come," and goes off to the elephant graveyard. You know, dramatic as he always is. So Jane follows him to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid, and we find out that the hunters, Oswald Gardner and his gang, are following Jane and Tantor to the elephant. Also, that is Gorilla Skip. That's the most recent skip found in the game. Just right there. It's the same thing as the first skip that I failed, where I ran over to the first gorilla where it gave me the text box. So that time I got it. That is actually now the hardest trick in the game, and I got it. First time it's been gotten in a marathon. Forget the fact that this is the second showcase of in a marathon that this game has had since that trick was discovered. But hey, there you go. That's a BSG Annual premiere. Yeah, that was baboon skip, because baboons are the monkey friends that you skip. Well, you skip their prompt of like telling you what to do to get their help. Also important here, I need to not jump, because if I jump to climb up there, which is faster, I'm gonna hit the trigger zone of that like snake and get dragged back down and have to do the encounter. So I climb back up, so the auto jumping that happens like right here when you reach the top of a climb like that, yeah, that overrides that, and I get to it. All right, so Tarzan and Professor Porter are wondering what the how to get to Tantor and Jane, and like save them from the imminent danger of Oswald Gardner and his gang, because they're off to the elephant graveyard to get all the ivory to sell for big money. I'm on top of the cage again. And so the whole plot reason for making you collect 45 film reels is so you have enough film that the cameraman made to see where Tantor is going and find out where the elephant graveyard is. That's the story. Don't play this game for the story. Play this game because it's an early GameCube game that has some of that sweet charm that is really just unique to licensed games like this. Also, I'm also rapidly jumping whenever I encounter a spider, because what the spiders do is they bind you in a cocoon similar to the lasso guy that where I explained the skip, where you land behind him and you get bound all the time. And when you're stuck in a cocoon, you have to mash B to struggle out of it, as you see me do with the lassos. But while that's happening, the spider runs towards you and tries to drink you. I am not kidding. What he does is drink you. Alright, so. Like, he comes up to you, he starts making drinking motions, and your health starts draining. That's literally what happens. So yeah, we've come up to the end of Into the Caverns here. I'm gonna stun him, use the other spear to do that, because I usually have 2 spears here, not 4. But yeah, the jumping quickly is because the spider can only bind you in a cocoon when you're on the ground. And if you jump continuously, you're not on the ground long enough for him to cocoon you. Now we've got the other surfing stage. Now, as you might notice right away, the waterways are very, very wide. So bank bonking isn't gonna help here take turns efficiently here. However, we still have the other property of it avoiding damage. Unfortunately, my movement didn't quite line up perfectly. So I ended up in the whirlpools, which are quite massive here. I'm already down to... so I can show off my health in the top left here. It's 25 segments. You can see like it's like 5 sections of 5 segments each. So it's 25 health that you have. And like I said, anything that does damage to you either does 3 damage or 5 damage. Bananas are your restore your health. A single banana restores 1 health. A banana bunch restores 5. So a full segment, so to speak. Also, I can crash into rails just fine and take no damage. Alright, so I'm gonna go through here. So yeah, this is... yeah, so yeah, we just use back bonking here entirely to avoid damage whenever we end up against a wall. Such as here, where I'm gonna just sneak through the back here and collect the film reel. Film reels are completely unimportant. You don't need them at this point in the game. You need the 45 to access the final third of the game, but outside of that, you don't need them at all. However, there's no animation or anything that stops you when you collect them, so it's not something we have to avoid now either. It's just we don't have to go out of our way to collect them. So it makes for... It turns the end game more or less into ILs, except it doesn't, because we still have to save the baby monkeys. Like I said, we're back to saving the baby monkeys again. Because we're gonna need the baboon's help later on. And that's what we have to beat the third bungee challenge for. Also, fun fact here, I'm gonna do this on purpose. I normally don't do this. Okay, when I try to do it on purpose, it doesn't happen. Perfect. So there's some snakes in the water at the end there. If they do 5 damage to you if you hit you. They're a 5 damage hit if they hit you. And if you have 5 health or less, and they therefore reduce you to 0 or below 0, you die. And even though you hit the end of the stage, it doesn't give you the win. It kills you, and you have to do the entire stage over again. And yeah, if you're not careful in that stage will kick your butt if you're not careful. Like, I use back bonking a ton in that stage to avoid damage. And I still probably took damage here and there. I didn't really pay attention to it, because I just pay attention to like my health, and it was never really in any danger. So that side path I just passed up, that's where the end of the stage is. That's the way to the final boss, right there. But we can't access it yet. We need the help of the baboons to come up there. And as of this point, we have not yet found a glitch that lets us get up there without it. So we unfortunately have to play this entire stage and do the baby monkeys and everything. However, that does not mean we have to beat the stage. Because there's going to be more exploits of that very particular definition of the game storing progress as soon as you get it. As we do some very narrow rail jumping here, because we're rail jumping, but the rails are very short, as you can see. And we're into a trunk. And then we get up to this point, where we can do a couple more. And then we get this ridiculously long jump from vine to vine. It's significantly longer than any other vine jump they make you do in the game. And here's a couple more. Jump over some crystals. These crystals do 5 damage if they hit you. You saw some earlier in the trunk grind.
Hello, child.
Okay. Alright, so there's another spider coming up, but I have spears on me, so I don't need to grab them there. And yeah, this is what happens. See, spider's coming towards me, but now it takes a while for it to recharge the cocoon, so I can just take him out easily. It's just a couple seconds lost to being bound in the cocoon. Alright, so I can't spear this guy because I have a baby on board. So I'm just gonna have to run past him.
Thank goodness.
Okay, we'll make our way through here. Dodge some more crystals. Probably gonna hit one somewhere. Okay, no I don't. Hit the top of the thing, because that's something I haven't gone into yet. When you exit from a trunk like that, if you exit from the top or the top diagonal, depending on the exit, yeah, you get flung forward a little more. Okay, so get on this. Don't jump, because I get pulled into the trigger zone. Now it's safe to jump. Jump, throw spear, jump, jump. I have 1 spear left, so I need to make sure I hit this guy. I have no spears left, so I have to break this gauge with my bare hands, but Tarzan knows what he's doing. Unfortunate. Both unfortunate in the sense that I died, and that for some reason the sinking into the water animation was very slow. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to beat this guy. Okay, so that's why you generally don't jump. Try to jump there, though it's faster, because yeah, that can happen. Because the game is not like... The game has a sort of railing system, but it tends to not work when you jump everywhere. Alright, so wait for this indicator to come up in the bottom right of the screen, and then I quit out. That is what we call early exit, because even though the stage exit is right there, right past it, it's faster to exit out once the game realizes you've saved the 3rd baby monkey. So here's the final bungee challenge. All that I need to do is save the baby monkeys. As I mentioned before, game stores progress as soon as you get it. Right. Ah, I failed it. So you can see the 1 out of 3 in the top left of the screen. So yeah, you get 3 attempts to do this. Yeah, as I mentioned with the first bungee challenge, you do have to do a no-hit, basically. You have to do a no-hit to successfully grab the film reel and complete the bungee challenge. Okay. So now I'm going to do another early exit here. As soon as I get the film reel, I quit out. I didn't do it on the first bungee because it doesn't work. For some reason, you can only like pause at that point in the 3rd bungee, but not in the other bungees. But yeah, there's another early exit, and because staying with unlocking the bungee challenge, the game only checks if you've saved all the baby monkeys. The game also to let the monkeys help you. It also only checks to see if you've gotten the film reel from the bungee challenge. That's what the game counts as completion of the bungee challenge. So you just keep the coming back up, and then the Tarzan yell. Alright, so I'm gonna get hit on purpose here to cut this animation short. And the baboons were still in an animation of doing the ladder, but by jumping onto it, you cut the animation short and the ladder appears instantly. And now we're on to the final boss, so get ready on time. Because, yeah, I said it before, you know, 3 hits, 5 buttons, mashing threshold is a little bit higher, but we're speedrunners. It's still very low. Like, I can very comfortably mash the button here just to make it drain immediately. The only thing that can really go wrong is dropping the mashing B to input the combo too early and then have the bar drain back just before it goes. Because get ready on time because time ends on the final input. So when I input the 5th and final button on the 3rd combo is when time is. So that was the 2nd one. Now we got the 3rd. So that is Oswald Gardner. That's the only time you see him in game when you skip the cutscenes. And this is Wolf. This is the guy we fought in the first boss fight, and now we're fighting him again. Mr. Wolf, Mr. Julius Wolf. Yeah, here we go, final one. AYXBY, that's the combo. Or AYXBB, sorry. Well, AYXB time. Almost missed it too. Alright, run's done so I can let this cutscene play out. Alright, that was Disney Tarzan Untamed 90%. There's some other categories for this game, but I haven't really gotten to them yet. But hey, it's this is what I like to call a childhood gem. A game you just hold really dear because you played it in your childhood.
There. Got it.
And the GameCube is my childhood defining console anyway. So it works out. And this is actually my first speed game. This is my first speed game. It's also the game I've done the most marathon showcases of out of all my games. So, and yeah, as you've seen today, I still speedrun this game to this very day. Ever since I started speedrunning, period, in December 2017. Yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. RK can get my time because I want to be embarrassed. Apparently.
Nothing to be embarrassed about. It's a 42-43 there.
No 44, yes. So, to explain why I'm happy, my 2 runs of yesterday, I got within a minute. I finished within a minute under estimate, and I mentioned that if I was to get a 44, which is an extremely bad time for this game, for the amount of time I've spent playing this game and running it, a 44 would be such a bad time that I would consider retiring from speedrunning forever. But no, 42 is a fine time for a marathon. Especially because I had to redo a stage and redo a big portion of the stage. I had some deaths in places. So 42 checks out.
I did no reason to retire here. But before you go, we do have 2 more donations coming in. And you know what that means.
It means we go monkey. Argzan come back for a run. We have €5 from Joseph Black. Joseph Black says, we need more Argzan to blast run. And we have €5 donation from Anonymous. Fine, gotta get in on making a monkey out of Argzan. Yes, thank you very much.
And there you go. With that, we are going to hand over to our next round. We're going to go for a quick break, get ourselves set up. It is going to be a Sonic 3 AIR race coming up here between HUD's 601 and Terravan.